Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Diz Idiots podcast for August 10th, 2021, bringing you all the news from around the world, Disney World, and, other nerd-type stuff, because we do whatever the heck we want over here. Over that way, we have Bruce.
Hey, everybody!
Down there, we have Brian.
What up?
I'm Dozer. Let's just get right into it. Let's get into this Star Trek hotel.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, Star Trek? You mean Star Wars? Wars.
No. I'm talking about the Star Trek experience down in Vegas. Cedar Fair.
Is that still around?
No, it is not.
No, it is not. That is rest in peace, long gone.
The J.J. Abrams cut. Oh, man.
That was gone when we worked at Dorney Park.
Yeah.
But I still had a phone number for it in my office.
Oh, my God.
I could call the cash control room at Star Trek The Experience.
Star Tours.
Welcome to Star Trek.
I was going to get into a story about Star Tours later. The actual Star Tours, not Star Trek Star Tours. But no, we have the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel opening. I missed the opening date. I really don't care.
I believe tentatively is around the April of next year. April, May is when they're looking at when the first sale, when it first sets.
Yes. Nothing better
Goes
than
into hyperspace.
Nothing better than to pack that Star Cruiser full of spring breakers. Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll even get a Brazilian tour group in there.
I would like to start by saying, raise your hand if you have a lot of positive things to say tonight. Oh, really? Really?
Just because no one else did,
Come on, Brian.
Oh, look, I gotta stir the Kool-Aid a little bit. I gotta take the Kool-Aid a couple of sips here and there.
You're allowed to sip the Kool-Aid, but there's spoiler alert. I have a lot of negative things to say. In fact, all of the negative things.
For the most part, at first I was like, you know what? It's only money. It's only money. You only live once, right? Just do it, right? At first. But then I'm looking at the finances and I'm going, you know what? For what? We'll get into it, but
it's a college education.
Well, but already people are spending $5,000 for a VIP tour through Hollywood Studios just to get into Rise of the Resistance.
That's another problem altogether. As here we go again, Bruce, Rise of the Resistance. That's another problem altogether. That we have an attraction that people paying big money for just to say they rode. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous and a half. The fact that people are going to have to feel the need to do that or book the Star Cruiser just to say this is my best way of getting Rise of the Resistance. That is such
I know.
It is so
Who had 3 minutes? Who had 3 minutes? Anybody have 3 minutes till Bruce went off on this?
Start the clock. Let's start the clock.
Hey, listen, we're just being glad my introduction wasn't I hate Rise of the Resistance.
So I'll put you this way. So actually, my true first impression after reading all the information, the pricing, all this stuff, this whole announcement of an experience, a hotel, Renaissance fair, whatever you want to call it, con. It reminded me of the scene from Jurassic Park when they're all sitting at dinner and the lawyer goes, well, we could charge them $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day, and people will pay it. And you know what's crazy? It's like, that's what's happening. Like, they're slapping whatever money down. They're saying, oh, this is what it is. And I can guarantee you, people will actually go.
That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. People will actually pay this amount of money to go for just 2 nights. Insane. And then on the website, it goes, to make reservations, and they're like, are you looking to stay at another Disney hotel or whatever? Contact this number to double book your reservation. And I'm like, after spending this amount of money, who else? Like, what? All-Star?
There are certainly people that
Grand Flow, of course.
there are certainly people that can afford this, and Disney. Listen, there's no
Yeah.
doubt Disney's. Everybody knows that, but this is different. This is next level. It used to be like you've heard me say before. During training, they would tell you during traditions, you people know they are spending a lot of money here, and we want to give them the best experience. Now they're spending a lot of money here, and we're really going to gouge them this time. I'm sorry. The value here. There's people who are going to pay it, of course. There's people who do anything. But
Right.
I'm wondering the longevity, the turnaround. You could wonder how many are they every 2 days? Take a break every 2 days. They're off a day or two. What kind of turnaround do we have with cast and crew here?
Right, because if they're treating this like a cruise ship, I wonder if I don't know. It might be like a 9-month contract. It might be like a 18-month contract for the cast members to be on this.
It's a little different because a lot of these are going to be union.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You have all sorts of things that can play into this. You have also I'm not even trying to get into that aspect of it because there's all sorts of behind the curtain stuff that's like the value, the perceived value in this. At first, I was thinking, and this is something Brian can clarify for us in a second here, ladies and gentlemen. I already know he knows the answer. My first thought was, well, at a certain price point, I guess if you get a robe, that's like $150, $200. A lightsaber, that's another $100, $150 that's selling at the parks. Food's included. Of course, with specialty beverages they're going to add. You get admission into Galaxy's Edge for Batuu for your excursion there. There's some value there for a couple hundred, and you can start making the excuse of it's an experience. I'm going for that. There's also things you can add into it. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Anything included?
So I'll put you this way: what is included in this price is food, drinks, non-alcoholic drinks,
and not specialty drinks.
Nighttime entertainment, free entertainment on the ship because they want you to feel immersed. So it's all very hands-on experience. And 2 nights. That's it.
It's a Disney cruise. So, to be fair, they're marketing it as a cruise, blah, blah, blah. You have your shore excursion to Batuu. Most cruises include food and non-alcoholic drinks. You have to pay for specialty drinks. Okay, I get that. There are some other things. I'm reading the sample itinerary here as we are talking. Yeah. And there are a couple things that kind of jump out at me as I don't like. Okay, one. We have... Bruce, what time, assuming early morning extra magic or whatever the hell they're calling it now, what time does Hollywood open?
9 o'clock. Without EMH, you look at most parks are 9 o'clock. They could be turning to 8.
I know where this is going, Steve. Go ahead, Dozer.
Well, we all know where this is going, but continue.
If it's opening at 9 or if it's going as early as 8, still, why are we taking a boarding group away from other guests? These are people staying right there. It says Rise of the Resistance 8:45 to 9:30 a.m. Why not? So if it's opening at 9, okay, cool. They're on before normal park guests. They are technically boarding group 0. So, I can get behind that. You are not taking away a ride from anyone else. But then you're still riding Smuggler's Run while people are in the park. You can arrange these to fit in at any time of the day.
So let me interject here, Steve. There was a couple of things that they talked about with this. One, it's not announced official yet. This is just speculation because this was, this is a sample template of what your itinerary looks like.
Yes.
For I can't imagine. So there's like 20. I think there's like 25, 30 cabins total. Ideally, you're probably looking at about ballpark, give or take 200 to 300 people at a time through this hotel. I can't imagine that the itinerary is going to be everyone that has the same thing going on the same time. It's going to be split up. into different groups. The other thing that's speculated is
that's also making things worse. By the way, you just made his point worse.
What?
Continue, Brian. I didn't want to cut you off, but
Well,
you just made this worse and Bruce's rants longer.
Well, here's the other thing too. There has been heavy rumors that they're building separate line/attraction. So it's in the same building as Rise of the Resistance, but the way how it works, they actually have a separate entrance on itself to get on the ride.
Okay, you are still taking capacity away.
And then why didn't you do that in the first place to make this better so everyone who paid to get into everyone who paid to get into the park and normal to get on it. It just infuriates me that this is how people are. This is how they sell they paid extra, so we got to do something special for them. Right. And what about the people who loyally come down every year?
No, I agree. I completely agree. This is just Disney trying to market their way. You know,
I'm not. None of this was obviously at you.
Like, I'm out of the Kool-Aid. I'm out right now. I need more Kool-Aid to drink on. Yeah, so I don't know how they're going to do this, especially like if they are condoning costumes. I can't imagine that they're going to say, hey, wear your costumes at the park, because this entire time, up until now, they said no costumes allowed in the park because it takes away from the cast members and you don't know who's the cast member and who's the regular person.
It takes away from character integrity.
Okay.
Yeah. Character integrity, baby.
Yeah. So
and you know what though? It takes away from this experience, because now you have these people that for a day and a half are living completely immersed deep in a Star Wars only world. Every cast member is dressed to the nines. Most of the guests are dressed to the nines. Then you suddenly go to this faraway planet that you just took a ship to go to, and it is full of Shooby wearing schmucks and Crocs.
Well, however, they could, if they have them all together, they can work that into the storyline of Batuu. Is they're coming from a planet. That's why some of them are dressed normal and some of them are dressed in special gear. It depends on if they're allowed to free roam through Galaxy's Edge of Batuu, or if they have to stay together as their tour guide group.
They will have to stay somewhat together, I'm going to guess, because we've got... I'm still going by the sample as the Book of God, as there'll be roughly this for at least this part of it.
Right.
You have Rise of the Resistance. You have the story moment, which will be some breakout group where you might broker a deal for a heist or arrange to steal a ship from the First Order.
Like, this all sounds fun. This all sounds fun. It's just, for the amount of money, it's like, you better give me, like... I mean, I want to feel gunshots. Like, I would have...
You better have total immersion.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, this lightsaber that, you know, retracts and all this stuff, that better be, like, something next level generation, to the point where I'm like, how the hell did you guys do this? Like, I don't want to see something so flimsy and cheap. You know, like...
It's not going to be flimsy and cheap.
It's not going to be flimsy and cheap. It's going to be some nice stage magic, but that's what it is. It's stage magic.
Yeah.
I will say, this does read like a cruise itinerary, and I enjoy that. There's, you know, obvious fallacies in it. It's wonderful. They put the goddamn muster drill in this thing.
I know they did. That's actually really cool. Like,
there's one problem. One problem.
Where do you muster?
No, they put events before the muster drill.
Oh.
If you've ever been on a ship, you know the second before you leave the dock, you have to have your muster drill.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. This is something else too. I don't know if you saw this in the itinerary or in like stuff you can do on the ship. So for people listening and tuning in, we haven't even announced this price yet. We're just talking about how insane this price is.
We're also assuming that you all are Disney fans who probably have seen. If not, we apologize for that.
Well, and if you're just curious, if this is your first time tuning in, we'll be upfront and be honest with you guys. So anyway, for an additional fee on top of the fees, you can have dinner with the captain of the ship for an additional fee.
What?
Yeah,
I did not know that. Here, disclaimer: I only looked so far into this, but even before all this was announced, my interest in the Star Cruiser has been low. I like Star Wars. I don't love Star Wars, and this just has, from the get-go, has sounded like a gimmick and a half.
So the way how this works, they're treating it like Victoria and Albert's with the chef's table, where it's in the center of the main ballroom where everyone congregates for dinner. And it's a cast member. It's an alien species. I think it's the same as Grand Admiral Thrawn. Just it's a female. I think it's a Chiss. I forget the Star Wars lord name. I apologize. But she apparently is going to be all decked out in makeup and costume and everything. And she talks to the people and interacts with the guests at her table, just like on a cruise. But it's for an additional fee on top of your stay.
So that's my thing here. They're making, not only there's so much that's going to be additional. All the stuff they're putting out here. Look at all the things you can try. They're all going to be additional, kids.
How much you want to bet the lightsaber is going to be additional fee too? I can almost guarantee you this price is just for the room. I can almost guarantee.
Again, it sounds like they're including very little for now. They could change their mind. They could be Disney could be doing this, which company, certainly Disney's done this before. Announce it, change as we go. Feedback was really bad about that, and here we're going to change.
Let me ask you this. Now, Dozer, you've been on Disney cruises. Have you guys both been on Disney cruises? Okay.
No.
I haven't yet.
I have not.
All right. So typically, what's the minimal time at sea? Like, is it like a 3-day or a 4-day? Is that like the least?
So, the shortest cruise is about They do 2-night cruises.
Okay.
And that would kind of be like this one because the 2-night cruises, you sail to Castaway Cay, you do Castaway Cay, and you sail back.
Okay.
They don't really run that one on the regular. They run it for special reasons, like they just need to eat a day or two to ship timing and ports and all. Their normal shortest cruise is a 3-night cruise.
Okay.
Where it's a day at sea, Castaway Cay, back at Port Canaveral.
Let me ask you this then. For the amount that they're showing for 2 nights, if it was the same price for 3 nights, would that be more reasonable?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. So here's why. The price isn't. I think the 3 nights, no matter the price, 3 nights, you are pushing the immersiveness.
Okay.
Even your hardcore fans will be like, get me the hell out of here.
Yeah.
There's only so much you're going to be able to do on this. There's going to be a lot of entertainment, but there's not going to be a cruise level of entertainment. And there's what appears to be no self-guided entertainment.
Right. And
there could be, they just have not announced it yet.
Well, and
we're looking at 300 people. You're not looking at 5 different lounges to go to. You're not looking at 10 different options at the lunchtime hour for entertainment. You're looking at 1 or 2 options at any given point.
And I can't imagine someone like our age could well, I'm sure we could, but I'm pretty sure some of these extracurricular activities, these like sceneries about like going into like the engine room and all this stuff, I'm pretty sure they're going to be for kids.
It's going to be, they're going to try to make it for everybody. Of course, you're going to have things geared towards kids. It's going to be accessible to everybody, but a lot of that now going to come down in the play of you're pushing the immersiveness, you're pushing again, and at a certain point for the first day, that's where they're probably going to get people to spend the most money, is the first day and a half.
Right.
It's because you're here, you're immersed in the experience. It's no, you know what? We'll just charge it, no problem. It's just I've already paid this much to get here. Let me keep going. So that's
Right.
what they are definitely banking on. But like you said, not only are you pushing the immersiveness, once you push if you push the 3-day, I'm sorry. Look at the price. A cruise at least has overhead, gas for the ship. Also the cast, crew, everything. There's all sorts of things that go into a price of a cruise that this does not have. I'm sorry. I'm going to say some things that I normally wouldn't say because I hope there's no kids watching. If there's kids watching, I am so sorry. Thank God. I hope no kids listen to this because I'm just going to be honest. It doesn't really matter who's dressing up as who and who's doing what and what person has what makeup on. A lot of this, they ain't getting paid top tier, I'm willing to bet. A lot of this is going to come down to unions. And there's just so much that goes into this that just, what you doing here? What are you trying to do? And again, the pricing, as you mentioned, pricing varies between the size of your group. $6,000 for a party of four, average family of 4, where they say 3 adults and 1 child. What does that mean? Depending on how they want to base this out. But if you're single, you better find someone to come with. It's also $1,200 a night for $4,000. You know,
yeah,
that's insane. For 2 people, it's like four grand.
But Bruce,
48 actually.
I know you're hating on that price for 1 person. That's exactly how cruises are priced now.
I'm sure. Well, there's a reason I don't go on cruises. But but as you say that though, you can find deals for a cruise line. You can shop around. Depending on where you want to go. It depends on all sorts of things you can do. You can't do that here. This is it.
The other thing is, most cruises set sail in the red.
This is year round.
See, I don't know anything about cruises. In fact, until we started this, you guys said that. It never dawned on me they were booking this as a cruise. I've gone on a cruise once. I don't cruise. I just something I would open to it. I just don't cruise.
And I'll be honest with you too. Anyone out there who is claustrophobic, this is something that I would probably stay away from.
Is it why you're sleeping in pods?
Well, not just in pods.
There's no windows.
There's no windows. You don't. The outside is outer space. It's like the same screens you see in Rise of the Resistance, or even
interior cabin room,
or even what is it? The Hogwarts Express, stuff like that.
Well, no, there's windows. They're just not real windows.
Yeah.
Now there is a Sunshine Terrace that basically has very light tinted windows that will bring in the outside light in.
Again, though, I get that. But you're right. That's a good thing to mention. It never crossed my mind. If you are claustrophobic, I wouldn't think. Why is that a big deal? It's supposed to be immersive. You're right. That is a big deal.
Well, and not only that too. They also do strongly encourage that you need to bring everything from the car with you because you're leaving Earth. You cannot leave this hotel. So that's what I'm saying. For people that are claustrophobic, you're going to feel imprisoned. You can't leave unless you go to Galaxy's Edge.
I'm sorry, folks. In space, no one can eat ice cream.
That's why Liz already told me. She's like, I'm out. She's like, if you want to go, find a friend of yours to go with you. She's like, I'm not going.
So I do have a question because I have not kept up to date on the construction of this at all. I assume they're building simulators because you have a ship to get to and from the ship. You have a ship to get to and from Batuu.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're putting you on a themed bus.
You sure about that?
Yeah, it's not going to be like your typical Disney shuttle service.
It's going to be more of a motor coach, like an actual motor coach.
And and it's only probably going to fit 8 guests at a time. They're going to be like mini transports, maybe 12, maybe 20. I don't know how big these shuttles are.
If they could make them half as good as the fucking elevator from Disney Quest, okay, I'll take it.
So it's funny.
That elevator was convincing.
Yes,
how about Seabase Alpha?
Yeah, that was also very convincing, but we're not dealing with water.
This is true. We're dealing with, dealing with
Space.
space. And,
Peace.
hey, actually, this is how we can decide. Space 220 should be opening up sometime this year. I don't know when, but the new restaurant is opening up at Epcot, and they're using the same technology.
You do know when. Everybody knows when.
Gee, October 1st?
Around then is when they were projecting to open, which I'm like, isn't that just a recipe for disaster?
Oh, yes.
Food
And
and Wine Festival, Space 220.
I'm going to say this as somebody who a lot of the food they have shown has looked actually somewhat good.
Yeah.
Who wants blue shrimp?
I do.
Nope.
I love how
Like-
everything has the dry ice. Like that's like their recipe. It's like, all right, we're adding dry ice in every drink cocktail.
But see, I can see that backfiring on a lot of people. I can see a lot of
Stupid
people not.
people.
I can see people not enjoying the dry ice to go with it.
I can
Here's
see
some-
stupid people eating the dry ice.
Yeah. Hey, Dozer, pull up that itinerary again. I just realized this. So it guarantees Rise of the Resistance and Smuggler's Run on Batuu.
Yes.
There's nothing showing for Oga's. There's nothing for Doc Ondar's. There's
No.
nothing.
You have
You know what I
lunch
mean?
at the docking station, which
You know what
I
I
would
mean?
like to point out because I looked into this. You're getting a normal meal plan credit for that. So on that one thing, you do get an alcoholic beverage.
Okay, so you get one alcoholic drink.
The problem with a lot of those, Brian, is if you start doing that, you're really cutting into every other guest who's coming because they all
True.
have to make reservations. And if there's a giant reservation blocked out, again, they run a real fine line here of really anger.
I know they do.
If you do this and you anger enough people and they turn tail and go elsewhere and say we can spend this money better someplace else for the day, that's going to be a problem.
So what can happen here is like any cruise, there are certain activities that have a limit of guests that can do it. And even on these massive cruises of thousands of people, I have seen things cap out at 10 guests.
Sure.
So it would not be unheard of to say, you can sign up to go to those places. Because, as again, this is a sample itinerary. Ideally, you will make up some of this as you go.
Right.
So when you get on, probably at this ship orientation time, you will be able to block off the events you would like to do.
So theoretically, could you make reservations for Oga's Cantina if you wanted to?
I think they will work it out on the ship.
Probably.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be the ship taking over this place, but if you would like to do it, you might have the option to do it.
They may
And
block
speaking
out
of
a
the
time for. They may say, "We have these 15-minute time blocks just for." And again, it's a premium experience, so I understand. I appreciate what they're doing with that. But that's probably the best way to do it, because otherwise, oh boy.
Keep in mind, there is one great thing with this over a normal cruise. The ship never leaves.
Yes, it does. It goes into space.
Yes,
Yeah,
but they can bullshit it. There's no countries telling you your ship
Correct.
has to be out at 2 o'clock.
I mean,
Yes, there is the Galactic Federation.
and I'm sure in the event of an emergency or something like that, and you actually have to get off the ship, you can just speak to a cast member and they can accommodate.
Oh,
Listen,
yes. No, I am more just talking about they don't have to say the ship is leaving at 1
Correct.
o'clock.
Correct.
So if you want to go to those places at 3 o'clock instead of building a model ship, you might be able to. They might be able to extend this up till
There
dinner.
might be the last pod back leaves at.
Yes, but I guarantee you that'll probably be around the time of this Cocktails at Sublight Lounge.
Yes, it will, and I'm sure they can always, if something happens, if you get stuck someplace or something happens, I'm sure they can call for an emergency pod.
Those are, you know what? I don't know. They may actually, if you make reservations, they may actually say everyone in this boarding group has to report to the entrance at this time for check-in. They may actually take a group of like 200 guests at a time, depending on like when.
It holds 300 people.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like they may end up all leave together at this, like come together and
Yes.
leave together.
It's going to be sporadically. We've already established that these shuttles will hold about 8 people.
Right.
They're not going to create a massive line for the sake of creating a massive line.
You're talking about checking into the cruise, not going to Galaxy's Edge.
No, I'm talking about going to Galaxy's Edge. It's still
okay.
They're still using the shuttles to go to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So, with that, they're still not going to create a massive line for the sake of creating a massive line.
No.
So, you'll probably have, with any luck, they'll do a big transport right at the beginning so that you can get a bunch of people through Rise of the Resistance before the park opens in groups -1 and 0. That's my ideal world.
What about after the park closes?
No.
Sticky situation. Hours. That's the thing.
Besides,
True.
They're no longer doing AMH in the evening, so now you start running sticky situation.
Yeah.
like, I am looking at this end of this, Taste Around the Galaxy, this story moment, or the spectacular finale. That is the Book of God. Every guest will experience that.
They need to experience. And I just have a question. So, are there icebergs in space to hit, or
They'll find one. They're called asteroids.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Comets.
It's the slug. It's the slug that comes out of the asteroid. That's the spectacular
ice
finale.
ball, right? Ahead.
We all get eaten by a slug.
But so coming to it with the frame of mind of a cruise,
Right.
looking at it as a cruise, okay, this does make a lot of sense. And to the thing I said earlier, I don't know if we were recording yet or not. So they will do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday is turnaround day.
Right.
Which that kind of sucks for booking your trip reasons, but that's a different story.
Yes.
As you were saying, how they're going to clean the room, Bruce? Between 10 and 3, like every cruise ever. Cruises are the most amazing thing in the world when it comes to turning over a room.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions about this that just
Ask them. I might be able to get through them.
No, because this is different. My questions here because this is obviously more than just a standard cruise. It's what do they do? Like? How do they handle it when something goes 101?
Right.
When your big story moment doesn't happen. Obviously, they can play around with the hours, but that's the kind of stuff. It's like, I wonder how they're going to handle this. When something in the room breaks, what are you watching on TV? Is there TV? You know?
Oh, actually, yes. Hold on. Where is it? I found it. It's a little like comedy to it. It might be under the rooms. Let me take a look here.
Yeah, again, I haven't really looked deep into this, but my thing, and I agree with you. Now thinking of it as a cruise line, I do think of this as something different than I originally was. I still don't love it, mainly because Disney is still so building this around this. It's still just adding so much onto a vacation. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You want people to spend could be 10 grand on a vacation? This is ridiculous.
People do it every day to go on a Disney cruise and go to Disney World.
I know.
I hate to say it, throwing in the cruise words made it click that it can make more.
It does it makes it different. I never thought of it that way because, again, my brain doesn't operate like that. When you think of it that way, it does make it different.
Oh man, I wish.
So here's
yeah,
what is in.
Yeah, here it is. Standard cabin. It says
How are you people reading this?
each standard cabin is.
I have it on a second screen.
With furnishings and fixtures designed to ensure comfort while traveling throughout the galaxy, including a pull-out table and a TV with entertainment from your home planet, and a window with a view out into space.
There it is.
So, just strictly talking about this, you get a 2-night stay in a cabin or suite. So you do have a selection of rooms, ongoing, immersive, and interactive entertainment where choices determine your experience. Okay. Food and beverages on the Star Cruiser, excluding alcohol and specialty beverages, and a quick-serve meal at Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo or other select locations. Let's open that in another tab.
Yes, please.
Planning your voyage. What you need to know. The standard cabin. Ooh, you have a hairdryer.
Ooh.
You get 2 bunk beds in a standard room, 1 for each adult, and a pull-down wall.
I'm sorry, can I just stop you right there, Dozer? Because when you said hairdryer, all I can think is Spaceballs. That is my industrial state hairdryer, and I can't leave home without it.
That's your world. This is Matt Savage.
Okay. Knowing Disney likes to do things up, will you get special Star Cruiser H2O Plus stuff, or will it be the same shit with Mickey on it?
It better be C-3PO and R2-D2. Or give me the old Princess Leia screw-off head.
I want to point out in something that I just find absolutely hilarious. The standard cabin can sleep up to 5.
Yeah.
The suite can only sleep 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get this math. This math doesn't work.
I'm guessing they figure the suites for people who maybe I don't know. I can't figure this out. I don't want to figure this out. Again, this whole thing is just something I do not subscribe to.
There it is. There's the price. Between August through September. But look, if you get more people, it's cheaper.
Price is based on the cabin of the Star Cruiser, blah, 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 blah. Package includes 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 2 dinner meals per guest with gratuity for dinners and 1 standard quick service meal consisting of 1 entree, 1 non-alcoholic beverage, or if over 21, 1 alcoholic beverage where available. For guests 3 through 9, 1 combo meal from the children's menu offerings to be used in the theme park only. Entertainment and experiences on board subject to change without notice or liability to the Walt Disney Travel Company, CST number, blah, 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 blah.
Well, that's standard.
And I love how it says
the other restaurants are not loaded yet. We're sorry.
The only in theme parks. That's interesting. Not on the cruise ship.
Well, yes, because you're just getting a standard meal plan meal.
Yep.
So, I wonder, since it's not working, if these other what these other select locations are. But it doesn't work.
That's Disney for you.
Well, their website is only slightly better than their app. All the money in the world can't make an app worth a damn.
Nope. Even their streaming service, Disney Plus, sometimes too does not cooperate.
That's most streaming services.
Yeah.
But if you have a VPN, it is wonderful to get Disney Star, but if only I've registered for my Disney Plus in Singapore and I could get all the content.
Gosh darn.
Oh man.
But what I was saying earlier, Bruce, is the one difference between this and a cruise. Cruises set sail in the red, meaning they have not made money.
Yeah.
They fully intend to make their money at sea. This needs to set sail making money. And that's also one of the big reasons why Disney cruises are different. Disney cruises do not set sail in the red. They make their money before they leave. They nickel and
I get
dime
it.
you less than any other cruise I've been on except Silver Sea because, well, that's a beyond luxury experience.
Yes, I get it. I still get it. I get it. I get that. It still doesn't sit well with me because we're not talking about actual cruising here. We're talking about staying at a theme park. That's all. Listen, it makes it. Listen, this is giving me a more clarity. I'm glad you both said that. Until you said that, it never dawned on me they were pushing this and building this as a cruise line.
Right.
Galactic Cruiser, the name's right there, you idiot. But it was right there in front of me the whole time. What?
That's the same thing I felt about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was like, oh, it's right in front of us. It's been here the whole time.
Yeah. It's a cruise.
Yeah, but it still bothers me because I think you're going to have, for Joe Q Popcorn guests who's going to try to do this, they see it, they want to do it. I don't know. The whole thing, I get it, and I know people are going to do it. It's here. It's here to stay, and it's only going to get worse because I guarantee if this is a hit, Disney doesn't do things once.
Well,
holy shit, it is a cruise.
What?
Yeah.
First or second dining.
What?
Disney cruises, you book. Do you want the early dining or the late dining?
The only cruise I did was a Norwegian cruise where they do this freestyle dining, and I was not happy with it.
Most cruises you choose, do you want the early or late dinner?
Okay, it is a cruise, which I get it. I still get it. But it all goes back to we are still talking about a theme park essentially, and this is a nice. This is a great. I think there's a lot of ideas here. I do like. I'm curious about I'm just skeptical of the whole thing. I have been every step of the way. I think this is good for them. You're going to get more money out of people. That's great. I personally, I got to hear this has got to be. I don't see this being worth the money. Immersion, I'm a big immersion person. I love my immersive theater being absorbed into it. That's that's up to $150 a ticket, not.
Let me ask you this, because let's say this is a hit. Let's say this is like the biggest thing that Disney has ever done, hands down. It's in history books and all this shit. Universal catches wind, and they do an immersive stay at Hogwarts Castle Hotel.
First off, Universal did this first with Horror Nights, Islands of Fear at Hard Rock Hotel. So first off, not the first time this has been done. This is just a bigger scale. So enough of that. It has happened before. But I could see Universal doing that. I could see Universal doing this with Harry Potter. I could see people, Harry Potter, they already kind of do this at Harry Potter Fest, just like the Star Wars days. I could see people, again, shelling out the cash. I don't agree with it. Harry Potter, you get more into the whole spell casting thing that they already do. Again, this is sure it's going to be a hit. I'm sure Disney's going to do other things like this. It just, I hope that things work well with this, and I hope people who go do feel like they spend the money. I think the problem they're going to run into is you're going to have people who, no matter what, because I say this about theater. I hate to go there on this, but you get into this whole, my phone's listening to me, shut up, phone. In the back of your head, I spent so much money to be here. I have to say it lived up to the hype. I spent $500 on a ticket to Hamilton. I have to say it was the best thing I've ever seen because I spent $500 on a ticket. I did not do that, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Here we talk about this hotel, let's be honest. But that's the kind of thing that it's going to be in the back of their head. But I think the moment you start hearing people going, I don't think it was really worth it. I didn't really think I got it up to, or now the problems start coming out because there's going to be problems with a themed hotel like this. Actually something I saw, I'm sure you guys all saw recently, the wrap stuff they have, which is common, it's happened to other places, at Mickey's Runaway Railway is getting damaged, and they're not replacing it fast enough. Any kind of damage in this hotel, automatically, big no-no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to put this out there. I am currently going through the Cruise Disney website, trying to find similar pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cruises are cheaper, aren't they?
Now, granted,
I don't think so.
By a long shot.
Okay.
So, the 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise from Port Canaveral, a cruise I have done, a cruise I really, really enjoy. Prices from $3,535 for 2 guests. So you're still $2,000 cheaper.
Wow.
I know that you did
And that
comparison.
includes the Star Wars Day at Sea cruise.
I just
And how many nights? How many nights for that?
That is a 7-night cruise.
So you get 5 more extra days.
Yeah, you are looking at, for these prices, you are looking at, so I'm going to go to the most expensive sailing they have listed currently.
Probably like a Mediterranean.
No, I'm sticking with the same cruise. Mediterraneans are actually cheaper. So the most expensive one, which will be March 5th or February 19th. An inside cabin for 2 guests is $4,431.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair. Ocean View is $4,800. So you're paying for an Ocean View cabin at peak time on a much, much longer cruise for the price of this.
Okay.
A veranda is about $5,400. And I guess maybe the Star Wars comparable would be the concierge level room. Do we want to take a guess on the cost of the concierge room at a
All right.
7
Let's
night?
think here.
I can't even guess. That's something.
Wait, hold on,
I
hold
don't
on.
cruise
Hold on.
enough to be able to take a guess.
I was on the Price is Right. Let's see if I can get this price. So the what was it? The Ocean you said was like 54.
Yes.
Okay. So the grand room, I'm gonna say for 2 guests,
2 guests.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say somewhere in the ballpark around $8,000.
90, I'm gonna go 10.5.
12.5.
A little bit more than double that number. $26,733.
Holy shit!
I'm sorry. My wallet just tried to retreat when you said that. It's like no.
Don't
Yikes.
touch me! Oh my god! Wow.
I would like to point out we started this and our deep dive did prove the Star Cruiser is indeed overpriced.
Well,
Yeah.
we knew that going in.
We all knew that.
And here's the other thing too. The thing with cruises is that you can go anywhere, right? Like you can go to different destination points. This Star Cruiser is basically the same. It's Groundhog's Day for the employees for this cruise ship.
It's Groundhog's Day.
It's really.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
I disagree with you. You can't say that only because it's Groundhog Day. Okay, how about this? I didn't find the name of the musical Animal Kingdom. What am I doing for the next?
Well, no.
What am I doing 8 times a day?
No,
You know what these cruises dock and then they set sail on the same cruise often.
Yeah, no, you're right. I retract that statement. What I meant was like for a guest. I mean, you could do the same cruise and do different excursions or whatever, but ideally, however, with this though, it's going to be the same stuff.
Unless the story elements possibly can change. But again, I hate to say it like this, that seems to be such a minor part of it. You have your story element could change. And they could change things on a whim. They could change things depending on how things go. But again, truthfully, they could change things and you would have no idea. But I agree with you. This almost seems like it's, unless you loved it, this is a one and done.
That's where I was going. This is a one and done.
I know what you mean. Now, they could always change it and adapt as they go. Changing something like this is not that big of a deal. And when it comes to cost rise, you can change things as you go depending on what they release. You could say, okay, well, we're doing a Mandalorian storyline now. Now we're pulling from this movie, that movie. They could make up their own stuff. There's all sorts of things they can do on that. But again,
can they?
That's where I'm going with that.
It's can and will they? I don't know if they can, and I don't know if they will.
Because the destination is still Batu. The highlights are still Rise of the Resistance and Smuggler's Run.
And
you're still going to have a story that centers around the First Order.
Yeah, between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. The Disney trilogy, not the Star Wars trilogy. It's the Disney trilogy.
It's hard
just to add on though, Mediterranean cruise is significantly cheaper.
Wow.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Wow!
Wow.
And
Okay,
look,
come
that
on.
is a
Give
much
us
more
another
prime
wow.
date. That is the end of May. That is a beautiful date.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is just so many mixed feelings.
We'll
on
see
this.
what
Mostly
happens.
bad. Listen, we
We'll
got to
see
see how it goes. I do hope. I hope for the people, because people. I hate to crap on it when people have worked so hard on this, but the people that worked so hard on it, I hope this is everything they've dreamed of. I don't know. I'm not going to shell out the cash for this unless I hear this is the best experience of your life.
And
The
here's
big
the thing.
question that comes down for this,
Yeah.
and it will overall determine the longevity of it. How many rooms do they need to break even? If it needs to be sold out to capacity every sailing,
Right.
it's not going to hit it.
No.
It may hit it for the first year. It's not going to hit it year 2, year 3, year 4, year
know.
5.
I doubt they're going to need that to break even. But now it's another thing altogether here. What if you hear reports of it was terrible because it was too crowded, or there was no one there, it was boring. Like, oh, it was no one there, it was great. We had all this interactive time, it was the best. Then someone goes a week later when it's packed and goes, I didn't have any interaction time, it was terrible.
Yep.
That's the thing here. They have a big, I hate to use this phrase, I don't like it, they have a feast or famine here. This is a real, it could really depend on the person that you could get, and frankly, if you're taking, you could get a kid you take on this who goes, I don't like this. I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have figured out some way to do a dry run with transforming a couple rooms at Dackle and Avatar. I would have figured out some way to have done a dry run. I don't know how, but a dry run of this kind of experience, because this is...
see if it actually works or not. Because here's the other thing too. Well, I was just thinking this too, with oh my God, I lost my train of thought.
Actually, I would do a dry run with a DVC of some sort.
That was something
I was going for proximity.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my God, I just
and Dackle's DVC.
I had train of thought and I lost it. Damn it.
No, I meant like the DVC Work Center. I'm sorry.
Oh, DVC Work Center.
I meant the DVC Work. I know it's at Saratoga, but you could do something. You could just even try the rooms and transportation at the DVC Work Center. Just for, like, we're going a short distance. We're going to transform, so we have makeshift room. That's what, I'm sorry. I didn't mean like a DVC resort. Sorry.
Call it what it really is. The DVC Consolation Prize.
Yes.
So
you're only at Saratoga because everything else was booked.
Yeah. So do you guys remember when Galaxy's Edge first opened up and how there were so many mixed reviews?
Yeah.
To this day, there's still mixed reviews.
Yeah, because the only attraction running was Smuggler's Run, which was...
Well, it wasn't just that. You had a lot of Star Wars fans pretty much uproaring by saying, not my Star Wars. You guys were basically setting this around the Disney storyline, which is fine.
That's a fan problem. That's not a Disney's fault. That's a fan issue. That's an individual issue.
So here's where I'm going with this. The way how they're really marketing this by telling the cosplayers to come and dress up, those are the diehard Star Wars fans. You're telling me that they're not going to have the same mixed reviews for this hotel?
I think they will. And also, but that's another thing. If I don't come, are they going to interact more with people who've come in cosplay fully dressed up compared to me who's not going to do that?
Right.
That's another thing that's all together. I could see myself getting really pissed off about. Also, you're going to have some fan, if they do it. Now, they say costumes. I'm curious how deep they're going to let you get into that. Again, I'm not a big fan of, if you are a general guest, you should not be wearing a mask of any sort. Period. But I'm wondering, because I could see some of these cosplayers getting too involved. And once again, my favorite words, character integrity. Love character integrity. Always have.
Yeah.
Trying to find some of these pictures here. The one that, so a couple of these have caught my eye, and it makes me wonder, because it will be key to this working. Yes, you're going to have the hardcore cosplayers, but are they going to have cast members, not as people working the ship, but pretending to be guests?
That's what
Because-
I'm wondering too.
Because the picture that stuck out to me, and I'm looking for it, I can't find it, is it was a picture of the dining room.
We keep going back to the blue shrimp. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah,
Right here.
Here. And you have these people that are well above anything except SDCC.
Oh yeah, because you got all the Twi'leks or whatever, Twi'leks, and all those.
Yeah,
aliens.
you have all these
Certainly-
aliens that I can't imagine they're going to allow somebody to go around in full Darth Maul makeup.
Well, here's the thing. Look, when they did all the concept art for Galaxy's Edge, they showed the same stuff. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna have droids going around the park. We're gonna have
Again,
we're gonna have cast members in full immersive costumes and all this stuff." I can almost guarantee when they say we encourage you to dress up as Disney's way of saying we're not going to be paying that kind of money for our cast members to be dressed up in makeup. If you guys want to do it, you can do it.
Again, the makeup thing starts getting into a different when you start getting to unions and face characters. They can only be out for so long. You start really running an issue of, and again, they need character attendance. There's all sorts of issues again. First off, let's face it, in anything, anywhere, anytime, any place, concept artwork is never the same. If you look at this concept artwork for a lot of attractions, I'm not saying the attractions we got are bad. You look at concept artwork, it's just not the same. We all know that.
But
here's the thing. Go on.
I was going to say, I look at it this way. For that kind of money, that concept art better be 100% accurate. That's all I'm saying.
It's not.
Ain't happening.
I will tolerate 80%.
The view will be the same. The outsides will be the same. Those tables will look similar, but it ain't going to be the same.
Yeah.
It ain't going to look the same. It's not going to. It's going to be. And again, adapt as they go. That's the big thing here. I don't dig it.
The only thing that I hope, because when you talk about things that not enough people experience that were way more immersive than anyone ever gave them credit for, Star Trek: The Experience.
Yeah.
If you've never watched the details of the attraction, of the two attractions, of everything about it and the level of detail they went into, this was a Disney ride not built in Disney. It was insane.
Yeah, it was.
It was a level that would give Universal wet dreams at the time it was built.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything this good. And I'm not even sure this can get to that level.
Probably not.
Because they did have the people in full makeup all the time as your bartender, as everything, as face characters acting as normal employees.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying there's all sorts of things that go into this, and I'm very curious how it's going to all play out. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they won't do it. I'm not saying they should do it either. I have so many feelings on this. Most of them are the negative.
Yeah.
I am going to take a moment. Have you ever seen how the transporter scene in that attraction works?
Mm-hmm.
That thing is insane.
Legendary. The truth is that is a legendary case. People have, I believe, there were rumors that people had tried to copy the experience again with other ideas, and just we can't do this.
Right.
It's impossible.
The whole experience was honestly lightning in a bottle. That hands down, that whole Star Trek experience was lightning in a bottle.
Well, gee, doesn't this look familiar?
Yeah. Expedition Extinct.
Oh, one of my favorite channels.
I love that. I love that channel. Well, anyway, speaking of from one hotel, the Star Wars Hotel, Bruce, I do believe you have some Halloween Horror Nights.
I have some Halloween Horror Nights updates. In fact, me and the lady's shirt was chosen specifically. We have another house announcement. This is again rumored, but here it is. They finally announced it. You got your team. Well, Jack's bringing his team. HHN Icons Captured was announced. This house is going to be awesome. Featuring now. There's a question of artwork that's been put. The scare zones are also going up as well. The 30 years, 30 years scare zone going up has the artwork with all the icons. That's where Lady Luck's face first appeared. I'm glad my lady's back. Always will be special to me. First year I went. But this is going to be interesting because the icons did not have Eddie in it, who had been in that other artwork, or the Terror Queen. And she is actually on a shirt they're selling, and I believe they are going to be used. They don't think they were in the lineup of the icons announced, partially because I think they were supposed to be the icons from the actual events. Eddie didn't have his happen, and technically Storyteller was the icon of that event. But they are good. And what I like about this house, the idea of it that really sits well with me. I'm not there yet. Let me get there, okay? We're getting there. That's coming up. That is coming up.
Such a tease.
I'm trying to just give you some background music
I
here.
appreciate it.
Give me some Walking Dead.
With HH, shut up, you! No! God, Brian! No! No Walking Dead! Enough! With HHN icons captured, we'll also get there for a second. If HHN icons captured, the house could change a little bit. They said depending on when you go, will depend on which icon is controlling things. So I don't know if the icons are going to be fighting, or remember, they have different leagues that they all belong to, could be fighting, but it's a very unique idea. But Jack's bringing his team. I knew this house was coming. It's been rumored. I am excited. I'm happy they announced it. While we're talking about announcements, there's a lot of things that can happen with this. For our eagle-eyed viewers and watchers,
what the hell was that?
It was called Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh.
That's another conversation.
I thought it was going to be a jump scare sound.
By the way, Five Nights at Freddy's, that hooray you played is what the finishing every night thing. When I heard that, I was like, oh, am I playing Five Nights? But on the topic, if you follow the website, you follow along, especially in the app, when they have, here's the houses, you can scroll through. They have squares for coming soon. Now, this could just be an oversight. Think of this what you will. There were 10. There had been 10 for the longest time. There are 11 squares. We are getting an 11th house. Don't know yet. Now, that's the question of what. We have, listen, Puppet Theater hasn't been formally announced yet. We know that's there. Welcome to Scary. We know that's happening. We see that. Wicked Growth Realm of the Pumpkin. We believe that's rumored to be happening. So we have a couple of things we can, same thing with Tooth Fairy, believe to come back. We have a lot of places we can go with this. There's a lot of ideas here. Now, was this something they were planning all along?
I like that.
Could it just have been left out? Could this be back to Halloween Horror Nights 25? A certain house got purged, if you will, because the story that went around is that Scream was supposed to happen, and that the team came in and said, you have to redo it to the MTV show. They said, we're not doing that. So they said, fine, you can't do the house, and they made it the Purge. It was supposed to be Scream. Could this be Scream? The Forever Purge makes me think no, because Blumhouse property they would already have access to. So Could this just be an oversight? Could this be waiting for approval from Orlando that they finally got? It could be that this is either Creepshow or Halloween 3, like we've heard. This could be they love their tie-ins. So this could be easily Halloween Kills. This could be Chucky, not Child's Play. Chucky, there is a TV series coming, which looks fantastic on Sci-Fi. Look up the trailers. It looks hysterical.
It does look really good.
Or, remember, we have a Scream movie coming. A bit of a reboot. That's why it's Scream and not Scream 5. They love their tie-ins. That could be it. Oh, we're going to find out. Stay tuned. They love to announce on Thursdays. We are less than a month away, and now we have plenty of things left to announce. So we are a lot of things to announce here. Now, other ideas. This Walking Dead is the last season is coming up. Could this be The Walking Dead? Please, God, no. Please, no. Please, not The Walking Dead. In case if any of you follow along with the lore, I don't think there's a trailer yet. It's coming, but we do not have a trailer yet. Stay tuned. I will let you know when the
Personally-
trailer comes.
All right, so I want to hear your theories of what this 11th house is going to be. I have two. One is if I was a Universal Creative Imagineer, as you will, that would be one house that I have an idea for. But if it's an IP, God, I hope it's Fear Street. I hope to God it's Fear Street. That show was so good.
Here's the thing with Fear Street, and the reason I wouldn't think it. I love Fear Street. Again, the reason I wouldn't think not. Unless this is they forgot to add it, or there could be they were just wanting approval for a Last House. Fear Street is a Netflix. They have contracted with Netflix to do things. I don't know if they've contracted that they can do. Yes, it was. Fear Street was awesome. I don't know if they can do two Netflix houses at the same time. I know in the past they were supposed to do a Chilling Adventures Sabrina house. That didn't happen, thank God. Good show.
But they're doing the Haunting of Hill House this year, though, too, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know what their contract allows. Also, they would already have contracted with it.
It's alive! It's alive!
They already have contracted. So again, unless this is an oversight and they just finally, it could be Fear Street. I'd be okay with that. I'm thinking it's an IP. I'm thinking it's something they did not. I'm thinking because of Scream, it's possibly we didn't want to announce it until we know we had it go to do it. Gremlins had been rumored before. I think Creepshow. I personally think Creepshow is the most likely because one, we have Creepshow season 3 is coming. Then Greg Nicotero, who's the director and everything with Walking Dead. Literally, the leak thing from Puppet Theater was Michael Aiello, preach, walking with Greg Nicotero.
Right.
Ding, 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 ding. That seems like the most likely solution, but who knows? They could.
I know none of these people.
And there's a lot of questions we don't have answers to yet. And listen, we have scare zones that have gone up. That was another thing. Eli Roth's Crypt TV has a scare zone. How do we know that? They unloaded everything and we're loading up everything with the Crypt TV logo. We haven't had an announcement of scare zones. We don't even know what show there's going to be. It's rumored to be a Jack show, like a magic show, a Carnival Carnage style show. Not Bill and Ted's. Who knows? I think it was Bill and Ted's. We would have heard something by now.
Sorry, I have sound effects.
I know.
That was Tales from the Crypt.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. It was Crypt Keeper.
So, but
that's another option.
I know. What do you think about Jordan Peele take on Candyman? Yeah, I like.
Again, rumored to be. That was also rumored to be a potential thing. I don't think it's going to be a potential thing.
What here? It's Universal. They have the dough. This is a big milestone. This is the 30th anniversary. Now I know they're doing Jack and his house and they're getting the clan back together. But like, if I was part of the creative team, wouldn't we do like the best of the best houses in one house? That
could be Welcome to Scary. We don't know what Welcome to Scary is. That's potentially the 30th anniversary house, and it's potentially all the original stuff. Again, Welcome to Scary. So many places take place in Canada.
Okay, so if not, maybe
look. Universal loves their tie-ins just as much as anyone else. There's your house. There's your scare zone.
Minions. Put it over in Barney.
Well, because that is the question. 11th house, where is it going? Is it another sound stage? There have been rumors another house you would enter by I forget the name of the cafe over by the horror makeup show. There's rumors of it being over there. Who knows? There's no been 11th house on any speculation map, so guess is as good as yours. I'm thinking, and again, here's the reason I think it's going to be something big. I also think it's going to be the one right in the front, because right now the first houses when you walk in are unknown, possible original, and distract you, and Bride Lives. Usually in the past they've liked to have a big house up in front in the past few years.
What about so if not original? What if they do a house for Universal Horror? I mean, I know they did something. They always did something like that in the past. Like whenever they had the cinema with the what year was that?
Again, we just had Universal Monsters in 2019, and again
Yeah, but
we have It's not. People think it's just Bride Lives. It's Universal Monsters Bride Lives.
I'm not talking Universal Monsters. I'm talking horror. I'm talking like Psycho. I'm talking
It's possible.
The Exorcist, like all like horror, like not Dracula.
Again,
like,
it's possible. Only reason I don't think it's something like that is, again, it depends on this house. It depends on where this house fell. If this house had to be approved, it's a late surprise. So surprise editions don't happen. These houses take a long time to build, ladies and gentlemen. And we're within a month, and they're suddenly gonna. It could be a fluke, and they weren't supposed to have an icon up there, and it just appeared. They could be looking too much into this. But that's why I don't think it's going to be something owned by them. I think it's going to be an outside IP. I think it's going to be something, again, it's the 30th. It could be something original. It could be something huge. Because listen, for 2015, in 25, you had Jack's Presents Monsters and Mayhem, which was a fantastic house. It was kind of a best of, which I was proud of. I walked through some of the rooms. I'm like, I remember doing this house. Nostalgia.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of questions about what this could possibly be. Until anything's announced, we won't know. I'm expecting a dump of announcements because Universal also loved to, in the past, put out standees down there. Clock's ticking. We're less than a month away from go. Remember, it starts September 3rd. I believe team member previews on the 30th or 31st of August. So we're well within go time we have a lot of announcements and a lot less time to announce them in.
See, what you don't know is it's really just a day in the park with Barney, and that's the scary thing.
It's not fair. That was our joke. That was our joke forever. That was the joke that the scariest part of Horror Nights is walking through Barney, and they've taken that away. They've taken our stuff.
No. They're just going to revive the show for Horror Nights, and it's just going to be there to scare the shit out of you.
You know, I would not mind another place to sit for 15 minutes in air conditioning. So
the way how those scary is like you walk into just a pitch black dark room. You know, and then all of a sudden you just hear the music, everything turn on. It's like, hey kids, what's going? And you're like, ah!
I'll tell you this much: that statue at night looked damn creepy when you walk past it, because the way it was, the darkened bronze statue, that definitely looked like you were walking through something. Obviously, because they need that area to go through the house. But
I'm just saying that is a perfect area if you ever wanted to do something like a Five Nights house.
They can't use that area because that's a walkway to get to one of the houses.
I don't care.
First off, also, I just need to say something here. Something needs to be said. I don't care what people think politically wise. Five Nights at Freddy's will never come to Halloween Horror Nights. Five Nights at Freddy's is dead. Five Nights at Freddy's is done. Five Nights at Freddy's will never come back. The game looks like it's all but canceled. That's it. Five Nights he swears it's not. Somebody else will take over. I think it's a lie. Five Nights at Freddy's effectively was killed. Social Justice Warriors did kill Five Nights at Freddy's. It is dead. Five Nights is no more. It saddens me. Go to scottgames.com. It's just nothing but black. In the past, it used to be exciting. There's no image there. You can light it until you're blue in the face. There's nothing. It's just sad.
I do have a question here, though. If Universal was to open a hotel similar to Star Cruiser, would there be any interest in a Monsters hotel?
Yes. I'm all for it.
It's funny you should mention that. It's almost like at the new park, there might be a section themed to Universal Monsters.
Yes, and I think a hotel theme to that would be even better.
They have a hotel already attached to that, but I think an immersive Universal Monsters hotel would be excellent.
Now, are you talking about for Epic Universe? Yeah.
I was trying to think of where Universal could do this without doing Harry Potter. I'm tired of Harry Potter.
I feel like Art and Design did when they found out the last time they were doing for 26 they're doing Walking Dead. That's why the code name for the house was Uncle, because that's what Art and Design yelled when they found out they were doing it. They yelled Uncle. That's what I feel like Harry Potter, which is going to be involved in Epic Universe. But my God, enough!
I know. I heard it was Fantastic Beasts, so not Harry Potter.
It's the Wizarding World.
It was Wizarding World Fantastic Beasts. Who knows? Because that took a nice nosedive.
I know.
Despite being one of the most promising franchises they had going.
I actually liked that movie. I actually saw and enjoyed that movie. So
I never saw the second one. The first one I actually
That's
enjoyed.
the problem. Nobody did.
Well, and I think the other problem was I'm watching this film going, okay, I can tolerate Jude Law, I guess, as a young Dumbledore. But something about Johnny Depp at the end, I'm like, are you kidding me? Is there not a film that I can't watch without seeing Johnny Depp?
Yeah,
well, currently, just about any movie because he's been blacklisted.
Well,
he
now
did win that lawsuit, though.
He did win the lawsuit. All right. But still, like, at the time, I'm like, my God, we just came out of Pirates, the Pirates era, and now we're in Harry Potter, and he's in that.
Harry Potter likes to have names. And people like being attached to it because of longevity. But frankly, we saw how that ended. And I'm tired of Harry Potter. I would love a Universal Monsters hotel because you could do all sorts of fun things with it. Also,
oh my God.
The hard thing with the Monsters Hotel...
You could be working with Van Helsing. It could be Van Helsing's castle.
So, here's the problem. People do actually need to sleep. They need to feel like their rooms are legitimately somewhat safe.
Well, that's what I mean. It could be you're on that, but that's why actually it could work with the village. The village could be the barrier when you leave the village. We're coming back to our safe haven. Van Helsing's hideout, if you will. You're safe here. You can sleep here. Everything's fine. When we go out there, all hell will break loose. Again, that's why I said before. I alluded to this before. This is not the first time that Halloween Horror Nights, back with Islands of Fear, Hard Rock did a overnight for one night. It was very immersed room. You went back after being at Horror Nights. Fog would lift in, sounds would play, things would move. I think they were even going to have blood. The water turn red at one point. All sorts of things. And then at 3 a.m., the caretaker himself walked into your room and read you a story.
Oh no! See, that would freak me out. I draw the line there. No, I can't do that. I don't want a character come into my hotel room when I'm trying to relax. That's the caretaker, more like the Undertaker.
That was the whole thing. Is that you weren't gonna? There would be no relaxation.
But wait, wasn't this an additional fee that you can do though? This wasn't included for every guest at Hard Rock.
No, this was they had a room where you did this.
That's right. I do remember that.
Fun fact: no one did it.
Yeah.
Because no one wanted, they love Halloween Horror Nights, but no one wanted to then go back and have these things happen. Just like you said, I want to sleep.
Yeah, and it's like you don't want to stay up all night free. Like, if they do like a Van Helsing, let's say they do a Van Helsing castle, I don't think people feel comfortable going into a room looking like they're sleeping in coffins.
It wouldn't have to be coffins. The Van Helsing's not castle; it's his safe house.
Yeah. I was just thinking like Dracula's castle or something like that, or Frankenstein.
The attraction itself, the rumored attraction is going to be in the castle. I'm just saying there's ways you could do it where it's not creepy, where you don't have to feel like it's like once we leave here, you're in trouble, but here you're safe house.
Well,
also, as we're saying this, I don't want this. I want a Castlevania themed house. I want a Castlevania themed hotel.
Well,
that ain't happening. So move on with your life.
Hey, look, if Disney can build a Galactic Star Cruiser, Universal can sure as hell build a hotel that looks like a castle. I can guarantee you. And people
they can build a hotel that looks like a castle. They're not building Castlevania, is what I'm saying.
I know.
Oh, no.
I don't see Universal doing this at this point.
I think they're going to wait. They're going to wait.
If they did, let's face it, if they do, we all know they're doing Harry Potter because Harry Potter's money in the bank.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to see how Disney does with their Star Wars, and I can almost guarantee Universal is just on the waiting bench to see how they do, to figure out, hey, if this technology works, we have something in the books for Epic Universe. Which, by the way, I haven't heard anything about Epic Universe. Last pictures I saw, it's still a landfill.
Work had re-begun. It's very slow. They're looking at mid-2020s at earliest.
May 2020 has already passed.
Or mid-2020s.
Ah,
2025,
mid-20.
2026, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
The middle of the decade is when you're looking at the earliest. Because there's all sorts of questions that surround. Mainly, my big thing comes down to what was going to be supposed to be their landmark attractions, and the fact that if it's a carbon copy, we'll see what happens in Hollywood. If it is a carbon copy of the Mario Kart attraction from Japan, don't bother.
Well, you heard what happened, right?
I've heard everything that happened.
Well, you heard about the Yoshi attraction.
Yeah, because a stack of Goombas fell.
Yeah, and then a piece of the track of the Mario Kart like fell off, like broke or something. Like or it might have been the Yoshi. There was the Yoshi track.
It was Yoshi that's closed. Mario Kart, a piece of the kart attraction falling off is impossible. It does not move fast enough for that to happen.
Then it might have been Yoshi then. They said it's permanently
Yoshi
closed.
also moves slow. Yoshi's closed indefinitely. The Goomba fell and I think really damaged things. Because it's a continuous line, there's no break in the Yoshis ever.
Okay. Because they said something about something derailed. That's what I was wondering. I
think the Goombas derailed a Yoshi.
Okay.
I believe. No. Mario Kart cannot derail. It is not physically possible. I can run faster than the attraction and I am fat.
I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, and Bruce does not run.
I do not run, and
Yeah.
I should say run. I can jog faster than the attraction. I'm pretty sure that's saying something.
I don't know. I still feel like the Donkey Kong roller coaster is going to be there.
It was always going to be the bread and butter. That's why it's opening in Japan. That was always going to happen in Orlando. But we'll see. Listen, Universal changes,
and they're not stupid enough to open without their e-ticket.
And here's the other thing too with Nintendo.
Yes, they are.
Like it's such a great idea when they announced that Universal's partnering with Nintendo to go into the theme parks. I thought it was a really cool idea. I'm like, wow, how immersive can this be? Because Nintendo, it's endless with the amount of games and everything that this company has provided for entertainment. So with Epic Universe, me personally, I don't think it should be a carbon copy of the one out in Universal. Let them have.
Well, again,
have some elements, but like I'm looking for like a Zelda, something with Zelda, Donkey Kong, Metro Prime, Smash Brothers, Pokemon.
Zelda would only ever exist as like a Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom type thing. I do not.
Zelda was going to happen someplace else, and it didn't happen. So just take that for what you will. Same thing with Pokemon. Again, Pokemon are two different companies. Yes, they're partnered, but Pokemon, you're dealing with the Pokemon company, not Nintendo. You have two different companies here. And again, it does work on Mario is the main bread and butter. Then Donkey Kong, they can always expand from there. It was because this is what was announced. If this carbon copy comes, it's not going to be. It's flying in Japan. It will not fly here. It will not fly when you have Test Track and other fast attractions around.
Yeah.
Mario Kart being slow will not fly. And I know why it's slow, and I'm not going to say why it's slow because I'm not allowed to. But it's bullshit. That's all I'll tell you. And it's complete horseshit was the reasoning. It's stupid. It's not going to work. Do not do it. Mark my words. It will get roasted in this because of all the Universal parks, Orlando is prime. Orlando is Omega. Also, Metroid Prime will never open in Japan. It would open here. Metroid is a bigger. We all look at Metroid differently. It does not sell as well in Japan outside of the US as it does here. It's weird. It's a weird thing with that. We seem to love Metroid and they don't there. I don't know why. They don't like it, but it just does not sell as well as it does here. At least in the current market. And Donkey Kong is going to be great. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm going to love whatever it is because this is the kind of thing I am such. This is my Star Wars. This is my Harry Potter. This is what I've been waiting for. From announcement number 1, sign me up. This is what outside of Halloween Horror Nights. This is it. This is it for me. But Epic Universe is so far off. Plans are going to change as they go. Again, for a park that has a Monsters and a Nintendo section, I am all for it because I love those.
Oh, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, no doubt. I just, the original rumors of like How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm like, that film came out like what, 10 years ago?
Not a rumor.
Is it actually official? Like, How to Train Your Dragon is part of it?
It was. I don't know if it still is. It was. Also, How to Train Your Dragon was possibly going to be the free section. There was going to be a roller coaster that you didn't have to pay for admission to one of the spokes, if you will. And that was the rumor that the village and everything was going to be the free section. Again, that was a long time ago.
I don't know. I mean, the monsters definitely sold me right there because I'm like, you know what? It's about time Universal as a company honors the roots of where the company started.
No.
I'm sorry, Monsters Cafe isn't good enough for you? Let's lie down, right?
No, it is not.
I agree, it is not.
Like, you know, and
I said this to Dozer the moment everything went down with Disney. Let Disney have Marvel. Just change. Well, what are you going to do to that island? It's monsters. You could easily make this, Frank. You could easily make this. It's Universal Monsters.
Van Helsing as Spider-Man. Frankenstein as Hercules. What the hell am I? 1990 Dorney Park?
I'm sorry, Frankenstein as Hulk. What about the 2 giant lightning rods we have next to everything?
oh yeah, Doctor Doom's Fearfall.
People
No.
Doom exists.
The Fearfall just gets
Are we getting
taken
rid of
away.
Are we getting rid of
Oh,
Doctor?
I gotcha.
It's not even the good drop tower.
No, it's not, and it loads slower than hell. But I love Doctor Doom, so I do it.
Honestly, if I had a creative opinion on Epic Universe, I would actually dust off the classics. I'd bring back like some sort of Back to the Future, bring back Jaws, bring back.
The problem with doing that.
Keep moving forward.
Bringing back the classics is not a good idea. Again, you can do more, but what are you doing? And you could have. I think you could have homages in everything. But
Right,
and if you're going to do
something.
that, if you're going to have something classic, that should be your entryway.
Hold on, bring back the classics. Bring back the classics, Bruce. What is the worst ride in Islands of Adventure?
You're going to make me choose Kong.
Yeah.
Kong.
There, they
Kong
brought back
by
a
far-
classic. It sucks.
Yeah.
Because it will forever be compared to the originals.
I know.
That is not a fair comparison because that's not a
It
pimple.
absolutely
That's
is.
not a pimple on Confrontation's ass because it's completely
Nothing's a
different, but
pimple on
yes.
Confrontation's ass. That was a very large ass.
It's a retelling. You know, I see both parties in this. I'm kind of the
Whoa! Time out. Are you trying to defend Skull Island here? Are you trying to defend
I'm not.
Kong?
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying like I see.
That's funny work, buddy.
I'm not defending Skull Island at all by any means. However, Confrontation was based off of the film with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange. Skull Island is the Peter Jackson or the sequel to whatever the one was
The
before
Monsterverse
Godzilla.
version.
Yeah. So it's
Also-
different.
Also, but you're again. That's not what I'm comparing. I'm comparing actual ride systems and everything.
Oh, well,
they took Kong
yeah.
360 and put an animatronic at the end. It's
Yeah, no,
dumb. It's stupid. Because you watch stuff. The queue is cooler than the ride itself.
I
That's
know.
a big problem.
No,
It
I
just-
agree on that.
I don't mind. I don't want having if you want to have a classic island. I don't mind that. But pick different. You'd have to pick different things. Don't just bring Jaws back. Jaws is gone for a reason. It was very expensive, and
Well,
not enough people
not-
did it.
Well,
However,
Bruce.
I have. Let me continue. One thing here. I like Brian's idea on one condition. The bring back ride and show. I want the original Jaws.
That is
Yes.
fair.
Yes.
But what I will say, and this will be the problem with, I feel, a lot of Epic Universe, given Universal's tendencies. Not enough practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
Practical effects are what make attractions great.
lasting. Yes.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like have.
You put a screen in there, and it looks dated quickly.
Right.
There's a reason people still ride that POS of an attraction we call Peter Pan.
Right.
It looks cool. Imagine if
and-
that was screens going back to 1950s screen technology. It would look
Yeah,
like
no.
crap. It'd look horrible.
Listen, there's no doubt. They need to spend the money on it because that's usually the cost-cutting measure is screens are cheap. That's why a lot of attractions use screens because they're cheap.
Well,
Now,
and they can also switch out the attraction too. So like whenever another big IP comes in, all they have to do is have a cosmetic makeover and boom, it's a new ride.
But they don't do that enough.
I know.
The
Listen,
problem Universal has always had is they've tried to be the park that is riding high on current trends.
Right.
Well, because that goes back to the original thing. Ride the movies. We have a great attraction here. Again, I agree with you. We have a great attraction that uses practical effects. A very great attraction that uses practical effects. That is complete garbage because it doesn't operate. Not the way it should. Men in Black Alien Attack is a great attraction. The guns don't up. That's part of the problem is they don't upkeep like they should.
I know.
Cat in the Hat needs love. Cat in the Hat doesn't need I'm shutting down for a month love. Cat in the Hat needs I'm taking it here to that's the problem. They do things and they don't never think them fully through and that they need to gut this and redo it.
Here's what I will say. Here's how I will sum up Universal in general. They have Disney's Imagineering with Six Flags maintenance.
Yeah.
I love Universal. But now they have certain attractions that do better because they have, frankly, less.
Right, and that was kind of like my idea. Like, I didn't want to say like, oh, they should bring back the original Jaws attraction or Back to the Future attraction. Like, I get that. Like, no, move forward, but at least like what you said, Bruce, like a nice homage or call me crazy, but God, could somebody give me a great movie ride? Like that was, I know they brought in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but when they announced where it was going, I'm going, no, like that was
great movie ride again was its own. When you start doing this thing, it has to be properties you own. That becomes part of the.
Well, that's what I'm saying with Universal, because it's Universal, they have the properties, they have their films. All they have to do is get the right amount of maintenance, but they don't, because like what Steve said, they have the Six Flags. So they can never do that kind of animatronic work on an attraction where you're riding through the movies. Like, how cool would that be as an entrance to the Epic Universe where you
Most of those
riding...
animatronics on great movie rides sucked.
Well, over time,
over time, the opening was broken within the first year, and they never fixed it. Like that broke right away.
Parade, but like Parade, okay, all right. Well, maybe Universal can go easy on the scenery. They don't have to try to go too extravagant.
I don't
know. I'm just a wishful thinker. I'm just a dreamer.
Listen, you could have a little island that you call like Flashback Island, Blast in the Past, whatever you want to call it.
Not even that. Just like
dare I say, Defunct Land.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out to Kevin Perger.
Yep.
We'll see. I'm excited. I love all theme park shit for the most part, so I'm open-minded. But we'll say again, those who said this before, they also love to pick things that just really a Bourne stunt spectacular. Really?
When was that relevant?
Jimmy Fallon.
Well, okay, the Jimmy Fallon, yeah. However, this Bourne Stuntacular is actually getting some pretty good reviews.
And it's getting good reviews, but it's not because of Bourne. It's because they're actually doing things with it. It's got great effects. That's the thing. This is a very non-universal attraction in the sense that it's a great stunt thing. The problem is, you made a great stunt thing. Why not create an original idea around it or use it on a better property than Bourne?
Right.
Okay. Best attraction, Hollywood Universal. Waterworld.
You know, I never experienced that.
It's awesome.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it still running?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's awesome.
That's saying something. That is saying something.
Worst movie, Waterworld.
Yeah, the movie was bad. I did not care.
The Waterworld stunt show is still around and it's not going anywhere.
And
that plane effect is
I've
While
seen-
we're discussing Waterworld, need I tell you what the back of the name of the theater is? The Fear Factor Live Arena. Fear Factor.
Wow.
Fear Factor, still the name of it. It's still Fear Factor Arena.
Now wait, wasn't Waterworld an opening day attraction for Hollywood?
No.
When did
It's
that
been
open
there
up?
forever and a day, but it wasn't open.
That's what I was gonna say. It had to come out like right when the film came out. So
Yeah, but
It was one of those. Again, they have good ideas. Islands of Adventure has some great ideas that were never fully realized. Even they have great ideas that are still there to this day. That were always from day one. What is Cartoon World? They were planned. They were built. It was done. But those you have great ideas of Dudley Do Right and Popeye in Jurassic Park, which is still not the way it was ever meant to be. That's beside the point. Velocicoaster's kicking ass now. We have Marvel's great, but you have Cat in the Hat, which just never. It just needs. It needs a lot of love. It needs a complete redo, and unfortunately, they're not about to do that.
well, let's be fair. Universal's never been good at upkeeping their kid land.
No.
Fievel.
I know it's a shame.
Fievel.
Fievel, Curious George.
No,
Barney.
Curious George is still relevant.
Yeah.
Nobody watched or talks about Fievel.
I know, and I remember that too. That was a cool playground growing up, going down there and hanging out with Fievel.
Curious George is the best part. I've only walked past it for Horror Nights. But I
Actually,
I didn't even know this is back here. I'm like, we're walking down. I forget what year it was. I'm like, what the heck is this? My buddy Eric behind me. It's Curious George. The hell? How long is this? Because it's been here forever, dude. I'm like, since when?
I remember Nickelodeon. That was always fun to go over to.
I went
Whenever
to
I went-
Slime Time Live.
What about
Same
Blue Man
here.
Group?
Same here.
What about what used to be Blue Man Group?
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Kids, if you're tuning in, I know Steve says there's no kids on this, but if you are tuning in, Nickelodeon, growing up, well, I guess it is still on TV now. That was our generation. Hey Arnold and Legends of the Hidden Temple, Double Dare.
Yeah, but that Nickelodeon, like I said, Nickelodeon had become Blue Man Group, and now it's nothing.
I know.
That's a lie. That's a lie. It's where I will be waiting.
Rip Ride Rocket.
Don't talk about Rip Ride Rocket.
We do not discuss Rip Ride Rocket. We do not acknowledge Rip Ride Rocket, even though I stand.
I feel like there's been a lot of oops from Universal. A lot of Universal's like, let's try this, and it's like
that was not a let's try this. That was not a Universal oops. That was Universal being cocky and B&M being jerks back. So that was two people not playing fair.
Also, Universal has these oops because they take the risks.
Yeah, that's true.
It's also because it gets into the way they operate and the way they do things. Again, obviously they feel a competition, but that shouldn't necessarily need to exist. But it's because they feel pressure from down the street, which it's not pressure. It is now it became pressure when people are saying we'll spend one day less at Disney to go to Harry Potter, but it's literally a day.
It's very much there's competition, but there's not.
Right.
Because there are, like, I could tell you, my next probably 5 trips to Florida, I'm not going to Universal. It's not happening.
Right.
But once Bella hits teenager,
then
or, tall enough to ride stuff and not be scared.
Right.
We're going to Universal for a couple days. We may even stay at a hotel there.
You should stay at a hotel there. You should stay at Sapphire Falls, go to Ametista. Oh, praise. I'm only a month and a week away from Ametistas. Praise.
Where's that?
Sapphire Falls.
Oh, okay.
Their breakfast buffet is heavenly. Their orange juice is the best. Their dinner is the best. I love Ametista. Also, I stay at Cabana Bay. Cabana's great too. I love the Universal hotels. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, well, if I'm staying at a Universal hotel, I'm staying at one of the ones that gives me the fast passes.
You're going to say the premiums, Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Portofino Bay, Hard Rock, and
Portofino Bay, Royal Pacific.
Yeah.
I'm also spoiled because DVC member, so I'm used to not staying at value resorts.
Stay at Hard Rock so you can at least do the walk.
Yeah. And
That's
Hard Rock's
gonna be-
probably where I would stay. I have a long, part of my Universal experience every year when I went was lunch at Hard Rock.
I remember
Hard Rock is firm in my Universal experience.
I'm not allowed back in the Hard Rock Cafe down there. It's a very long story. My mother had an entire place manager on his knees saying, "What can I do to make you happy?" It's an infamous story with my family. My sister somehow doesn't remember it. It was bad. They fed me a raw steak. It was not good.
Oh my god! I just remember
Yeah,
the pool because it had music
raw.
underwater.
I would eat it raw, or raw. We didn't even put a crust on this.
Barely. Put
It was
crust
still
on it.
mooing. It was still mooing.
Yeah.
Like it came right from the butcher.
It was just, and the fact that how fast it came out, it was just not good. It was a not good scenario, and when my mom very loudly said, "You fed my son a raw steak," you had head go, heads look, now heads checking their food. It was that level. It was that level. This is a legendary story with my family. In fact, I last walked in. We got drinks and nachos there the one year for Hard Hats a couple years ago, and I walked in. I'm pretty sure I heard a hush. Like I walked in, I heard, "Hey, damn." I'm pretty sure I heard the restaurant itself, oh, not again.
Hey Bruce, I just had a light bulb click. Back to the 11th house, Ghostbusters. I know they did the original a couple years ago, but the new one's coming out.
Yeah, they had a scene for the new one, and they had a monster from the new one in there. I could be. I hope not, because really, is it 11th house? It's just a bonus house, because that's one that I could skip it because I've done it already.
True. I'm just thinking big iconic things from the park, like the amazing Ghostbusters.
I'd rather see something like a Tales from the Crypt. Something that's along the lines of a Horror Nights history.
Beetlejuice is that is a done deal though, right? That they did officially announce that.
I mean, that was the first house they announced. Dude.
I figured it was Disney. I've been working on Disney this entire time.
That's months ago.
Hey, I just watched Suicide Squad.
I've only seen half of it. I had to go halfway through.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's
and I actually
different.
plan on watching it, so.
It's different.
I loved the first half I saw was very Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It was what I was hoping for. Fantastic. I can't wait to finish it. I thought it was a joke, I will admit. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think it was real until I actually saw Starro in person. I'm like, they're actually doing Starro! Yeah!
Well, and the other impression I got is I've been watching The Boys on Amazon and watching the Suicide Squad. I'm watching James Gunn do this film. I'm going, he blends perfectly. He's taken his Guardians of the Galaxy with The Boys and applied it to the Suicide Squad.
He didn't. Honestly, all he did was. This is what the Suicide Squad's supposed to be.
It's the second squad. How far in the film did you get?
I don't want to say because spoilers, but I got about halfway. I was literally about halfway on the money when I had to leave. I had to go back to work, so I
don't care about spoilers. So, spoiler warning: say whatever the hell you want.
Spoiler warning: Harley had killed the president. That's where I had to walk away.
Okay. So
again, just about dead center of the film.
Okay. Because in the beginning, I'm going, wait a minute. They're because I'm trying to, because me, I like continuity and timeline and all this stuff. So I'm like, I know he announced that this is not a direct sequel to the first film. This is more of a requel. It's like a reboot sequel.
It's a requel and it's a one-off right now.
It is. And I'm okay with that. I don't think we need to make this a franchise. I
Well,
would.
here's the thing. First off, that's a one-off until they finally announce Crisis on Infinite Earths. But this is a one-off that we don't need a franchise. You could do a sequel to a Suicide Squad about a completely different squad. There have been so many iterations of them. I like that we use different characters. I like that he did a deep dive. I like that he went and said who are the most obscure characters. Even though he changed how Polka Dot Man operates to an extent, he's still a Polka Dot Man. That's pretty damn awesome. Oh,
have you watched him in action yet?
Yes, I saw he did use part of it. That's how I know his powers are. But stop it, you're too young to drink alcohol, mister.
The one
Even
thing
in dog years?
Maybe not.
The one thing I would, if there was one thing that I would pick at the Suicide Squad, there is a moment, and I'm not going to spoil it too much, Bruce, because you haven't finished it yet, but there is one moment where I'm like, okay, this now feels like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it almost took me out of the Suicide Squad altogether, and it just felt like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, we'll see. Oh,
does it feel like Guardians, or is Guardians kind of the Suicide Squad of the DC universe?
You mean Marvel Universe?
The Marvel Universe. Thank you.
You know what? I think they can almost be one and the same. Now that you ask that, they can almost. I would say Guardians.
They're not villains, but Guardians has had villains join their ranks before.
True. So I guess Guardians could be the equivalent to the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
but the way how
they like to mirror things. It's not because that's more the Thunderbolts kind of thing. But I'm just saying the cinematic universe at this point.
It's just the way how James Gunn.
Well, that's typical.
By the end, it just has especially with Sylvester Stallone as King Shark, pretty much is Groot. Like his character is Groot in the film.
That is kind of King Shark to an extent, even though there's all sorts of things. It makes sense to me. I'm okay with this. He has a style, and I knew his style would fit here. It's the same way. Yeah. There's certain things. Multiverse of Madness is going to have a certain style to it. And it's going to be Raimi's.
And we're going to get Bruce Campbell.
We are getting Bruce Campbell, baby!
At some point, we will get Bruce Campbell.
Unless they cut him. I think that'd be funny if they cut him.
I just want him give me a post-credit. If you give me a post-credit scene with Bruce Campbell, I'll be happy.
It could even just be Bruce Campbell looking at a script saying, I don't want to do a stupid movie anyway.
No. You just have Bruce Campbell sitting on a beach with a margarita or something. Then he gets the script and goes,
the hell is that?
No.
And then he throws the script, and it's for Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange movie.
It could be anything. Listen, it could even be we see the script, he calls and goes, Sam, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Give him the script to Mallrats. Doesn't matter.
Oh,
Come on. You know what? It's right here for us. It's the script for Iron Man. It's right there. Yes. It's the script for Iron Man. That's right there. I am not doing. Who are you guys kidding? I ain't doing this.
Oh my God! And that's how it ties back to the beginning. Yes, that's it.
It could go meta and be the script for Spider-Man. I am not playing Uncle Ben.
I like to play
Uncle Ben.
I like the Iron Man calling. Yeah. I like that. Where he's on the phone with his agent, he's like, "What? No, I don't want to be this Iron Man. No, I don't."
Iron Man. This is gonna flop. Who would even watch this?
He's just an alternate universe happy.
And he says something. Wait, what was that again? What was that? You cut out.
He's just a variant happy.
He's a variant of happy. Yeah. I'm here for that.
I was gonna say he should say something like, I should rather be like Captain America. Call me Iron Man. I should be Captain.
Look at this shit. I am definitely built for Captain.
Yeah, like Iron Man. I'd rather be Captain. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
On your left.
Yeah. Is that all for the news?
I think so, because we're at an hour and 48. I don't think people.
We've touched on a lot of stuff.
I think people, when they watch us, I think it's a test of endurance more than anything else.
Pretty much, yeah.
But you know what? That's been all the news from around the world, Disney World, Universal, and wherever the hell else this thing has gone. You know, a Mediterranean cruise, maybe a galactic starship,
To a galaxy
and, you
far,
know,
far
maybe
away.
to Van Helsing's castle. But, you know, till next time, we're the Diz Idiots. We're the idiots, so you don't have to be. We have Brian,
See ya.
Bruce,
HHN forever, baby.
and I'm Dozer. Till next time, hasta la bye-bye.